to kick things off then, this is what you all came here for. So Netcom Training, once again, welcome, and we'll be going through the schedule of today. So number one, we're going to do a little bit of an introduction of who Netcom is as a business, why we are here, why we offer the courses that we do, and pretty much what you guys all came here for. Number two, we will also discuss a little bit about the career options, why you should be focused and excited about starting a career in the IT sector. And number three, I'll also do an introduction to our progression team, so you'll get to know a little bit about the benefits of participating in our programs. And then finally, we'll also go through some Q&A, because at the end of the day, we also do want to hear from you guys, and there'll be a portion of this session that will be allocated for us to answer any questions that you have, any queries. So if you do have some burning questions that you didn't manage to get addressed during this whole session, there will be some time spent towards the end where we can address your questions, okay? So a little bit about myself. Once again, my name is Anderson, and I work as a learner recruitment consultant here at Netcom Training. So a little bit about myself in terms of my background. I am born and raised in Portugal. Okay, so some of you may already be asking, what on earth are you doing in the United Kingdom? We actually go to Portugal for holidays. And well, we also came from Portugal just seeking education. So for myself, I wanted some new skills, and these are just things that weren't available to me at the time where I was from. So I arrived in 2009, and pretty much since then, I've been honing my skills, going through courses, and eventually I did also come across the web design course that, funny enough, was being delivered by Netcom Training. So I did study this course, and I'll give you a little bit more of what my experience was like while I was studying there. But a little bit of fun facts about myself. Yes, I do consider myself somewhat of a polyglot. So I do speak a couple of languages. I do hope none of you want to test me on that. But yeah, so I do speak Portuguese as my mother tongue. I am very fluent in Spanish. I can speak Dutch just as well as I speak my Spanish. And of course, English is another language that I am able to speak, hopefully, if you couldn't tell. And then, of course, the final languages are ones that I actually do need a bit more practice on, but those are the ones that I've been learning. And those are the languages that I've been able to make use to actually experience the fun and the joy that I've been able to experience thus far. And finally, I am able to complete a Rubik's Cube, although sometimes it is under a minute, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, that's a little bit about myself. So let's get into Netcom. So who is Netcom? So Netcom we are a company essentially that we deliver courses, and we offer courses based in IT, okay? And we've been in the business for 10 years. I myself have been in the business for a year and a couple of months, but Netcom has been offering and delivering courses for just over a decade. And we've got experience delivering this because we have tutors that have got years of experience in the industry. And when I say that, I do mean that they've worked years and years within the sectors that they are actually teaching. So if you've got a tutor for cybersecurity, this will be someone who has worked within that field previously. And many of our courses are actually supported by the government. And what that also means is that we do have backing. Our courses and modules are vetted. So if you needed credibility in terms of, is this legit? Are you going to be doing a course which is credible? Will you actually be gaining the value that you came here for? Then look no further than us being supported by the government, and they are the ones who would be funding your participation. And we will actually cover a little bit of those entry requirements. Second, as I said before, we do have experts in the field teaching you, so you won't have someone who's just reading off a script or reading off of a presentation. This is someone who will have the years of experience teaching. They've worked, they've got enough knowledge that they always are willing to share, and we'll actually go through some of the feedbacks that you can actually come across. And pay no mind to some of the background that you've been noticing here. We still do have some staff in-house doing some work. And finally, we've also helped thousands and thousands of people achieve their career goals and change their lives successfully. So addressing that, we'll have a moment where hopefully, if you haven't yet seen this, you'll have an opportunity to go to our Trustpilot page where you can read all about the feedback that we received from our previous learners. So here's a little bit about our mission statement. To support our clients' professional development through a collaborative and inclusive approach. And what that looks like is as follows. But before we get into that, here's a little bit of opportunity from you guys. So if you could, I just want to see in the chat, if you could share your name and what region you're connecting from, because it would be really good to see who we've got joining in the open day. So feel free to take some time. If you just pop your name and what region you're coming through. So myself, I would put Anderson and West Midlands. All right, so we've got Sam from Yorkshire. Good to see you, Sam. Pam from Croydon. Okay, welcome in. Robin, Leeds, and you're interested in cybersecurity. Okay, so you jumped the gun. You're already giving me your interest, which is really great. There we go. James from London. Nice to see you guys. And please forgive if I am going to be butchering your names. Please forgive me. But I've seen also a message from Kwame from London. Yemi from London as well. Oh, there we go. See, this is where the chat gets out of control. Jade from Essex, nice to meet you. Sylvester from Manchester. Sylvia from Liverpool. Satish, oh, my Dave Dorcas. There we go. Kankasha from Stoke-on-Trent. Welcome, guys. It's actually nice to see that so many diverse locations actually came and tuned in. So let me actually go on to the next slide and see if we can provide some of the reason why you all came here for. So welcome to you all. If I haven't addressed your name, please bear with us. We will have time to address your questions as well. But without further ado, let's move on to the next slide. So addressing our courses here at Netcom. A couple of things to go over is that we do actually offer our programs to a standard whereby towards the end you are able to pursue a career and actually start working and gaining industry experience. Okay, so before I progress into this part, because this part is going to be quite information heavy, and I do want to remind you it is being recorded, so do not worry so much about taking notes, but you're more than welcome to do so. There will be a chance for you to review this video later on. So before I continue, just once again, is everything okay in terms of video and the sound? Please do let me know if you could, and then I'll get on with some information about the courses. Just a quick thumbs up and some yeses would do. Awesome. Thanks for that, Satish. Okay, a couple of thumbs up. Perfect. Fantastic. It's all good. All right, so let's get it started. So first course, and this should satisfy some of you since you've already shared your interest, cybersecurity practices. Right, so what is cybersecurity? You can read what's on the slide there, but in a nutshell, what I like to tell most of our applicants is that cybersecurity, in short terms, is your ability to maintain information secure, okay? That's the long and short of it, is your ability to secure information, because as you know, a lot of people, and the common opinion nowadays is that knowledge is power, and that is true to some degree, and especially if the information and the knowledge is private. And so it's your ability to maintain this information secure, okay? And so with our courses, we do offer them from a range of 8 weeks to 12 weeks, which we normally say is 2 months to 3 months total study time in terms of our program. They are all tutor-led. So what that means is that they are live sessions that you're joining into, and you will be attending live sessions which are fully interactable, and you'll have the opportunity to actually liaise and schedule some one-to-one sessions with our tutors. So these aren't pre-recorded sessions, they are all live, and you'll have the opportunity to meet great people in your classes. And we do offer classes, although it says they're 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., this is one of the schedules that we have currently, but we do offer them in 3 groups. This would be a morning group, an afternoon group, or an evening. So what that sounds and what that is in practice is 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 midday, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. in the afternoon, and finally 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So for those of you who have responsibilities and you have shifts that may vary and you aren't able to actually attend some of those classes, then we do have flexible options available that you might look into. Did you say noise with sound? Is everyone actually seeing that or hearing that? Is that different noise coming through, or can you hear me clearly? It's clear audio. Okay, no problem. Sounds good. Right, so on to the next page then. So about the cybersecurity practices. There will be a total of 6 modules that you'll be covering, okay? And it goes as follows. You'll be covering the principles of cybersecurity. And in short terms, it means we'll teach you from entry level. You do not require prior experience, although we say that if you are comfortable using your computer, simple tasks like if you had to change your password on an account, if you needed to set up an account for a specific software or a specific platform, can you carry out those tasks? And if so, everything else we teach you from the course. So we will teach you new terminology. You'll be understanding the basics of cybersecurity. We'll show you some instances of when cybersecurity was being implemented and the lack thereof, and what the pros and cons for that have been, and the repercussions of not having a very well-established security system, right? And then once we do that introduction, we'll move on to a more fun module, which is threat intelligence. In this module, you'll be taught how to identify threats within a specific or a given term or a given business, how to identify an attempt at obtaining your private information, certain attacks. So we might go through some social engineering. So we might look at different types of phishing techniques that have been used and how that can have tremendous and very, very dangerous repercussions if you don't spot that early on. So this would be your ability to identify a threat and deal with it early on before it becomes an issue. Next, you'll go through testing controls, and this is also a little bit of your introduction to what could potentially become your career as a penetration tester. For instance, we'll be showing you how to actually test against your security measures, be it a network or a software, and you should be having a lot of modules and information regarding that as well. Moving on, you'll go through incident response. In this part of the course, we will actually be covering your ability to collate information so that you can then communicate this effectively to your peers and your superiors and your colleagues. So I'll give you an example. If you have a situation where your information has been compromised, there's been an attack, they've breached your security, it's a lot of personal information that's just been leaked, what should be your course of action? Now, you will have the ability to understand how to put together what is called a post-mortem report, for example. And that is your ability to then say, okay, this attack has originated from this location. It may be you did a little bit of IP address tracking, and then you went on to then doing a little bit more of identifying what kind of attack it was. Was it an email? Was it a link that was sent? Who clicked it? Who sent it? Who fell for the trap? And things of that nature. Was it a crawler that was installed? Is it tracking your keybinds? Is that how they found our passwords? This is what you'll be able to put together in a report. And then we'll also teach you your ability to communicate that to your peers. So that would be an example of incident response. But then we'll go through ethical conduct, which in short terms is just your behavior, right? So you'll be an individual that has clearance and access to information that the average person won't. So this is your ability to now show that you have the capability to be responsible. I mean, if you work, for example, at Tesco and you deal with the safe that's normally in the manager's office, we wouldn't expect you to talk about what the code for that safe is. So that is ethical conduct. It's your ability to showcase your responsibility and your ability to actually maintain private information private. And then we'll go through professional skills, which is, again, going over some of the skills that you would need to hone and start developing as you set off to start a career in cybersecurity. And if you find out that a penetration tester is what's high on demand, then it's in your interest to start honing your skills there. So that covers your cybersecurity. Next course is your CSIS, or Infrastructure Technician, and CSIS stands for CompTIA Secure Infrastructure Specialist. Now, what is this course all about? So this course is, if you've never heard of CompTIA, CompTIA are an American organization that issue accreditations that validate your competence in working in specific IT sectors, okay? And we offer a course that covers all of those areas as well, and the modules are as follows. The schedule is all the same. It's always going to be a 3-month program for this course. It's always going to be live sessions that we offer. They are always going to be tutor-led, and they will have morning, afternoon, or evening availabilities. We're going over these modules. I suppose the course can be split into 2 portions, okay? Portion number 1 will be your networking and architecture, and portion, well, that's going to be your module 1. This is where you'll gain the fundamentals of computer systems. So we'll cover a little bit of network addressing. You'll be looking into the hardware of a computer, its interior components, how a computer functions with a GPU. What is a GPU, CPU, what exactly does it do, and so forth, right? And then we'll cover networking, so how systems communicate with one another across the network. We'll then look into cloud services, so we'll expose you to different types of technologies surrounding cloud, security as well, its applications, and then we'll look into business processes as well. These are going to be this is going to primarily be your bulk of the course. When we say your course is 3 months, this is part 1. Part 2 is now when you go over to CompTIA's portal, and this is an access that Netcom will cover the cost for as well. So we'll issue you a voucher, and this voucher will give you the ability to execute their exams. Now, their exams is where you will get the CompTIA accreditations from. This CompTIA accreditation will be stackable. And what that means is when you put together a certain number of accreditations from CompTIA, it will certify you as, in this case, an infrastructure technician. And to do so, you may be completing the A+ exam, the Security Plus, and the Network Plus, for example. And to support your ability to pass the exams, you will have some extra materials on there, such as the Cisco Essentials, and there will be a bit of self-study available to you at that point in time. You do have an optional module, which is the Linux Essentials, but this covers the bulk of the CSIS course. So this enables you to actually start a career in cybersecurity, IT technician, front-end, back-end support positions could become available as well. And this is a range of options that you'll have available from this course itself. Moving on from there, you will also have a course which is Certificate in Data or Data Analytics. So what is this course about? Essentially, your data analytics is your ability to analyze data and in essence, highlight areas of optimization, performance, as well as processes. So it will be, in essence, your ability to help a business maybe cut down on costs. If you're working for a marketing agency, how is it that the marketing can actually benefit the business as a whole? Can we bring in more? What's the return on investment for this exact campaign that we're launching? How much will it cost? How long will the duration be? And it will be your ability to read data and actually present that in an adequate manner, much like we did with cybersecurity as well. So the modules will be the module 1, which is collating and data formatting. Again, as I said, your ability to present that in perhaps layman's English so that your peers are able to understand the report that you just put through. So you'll have the ability to read that report, read all the metrics and statistics, but how can the next person understand what that really means for the overall business? And finally, we will supplement that with an introduction and a little bit of intermediate teaching on Python, SQL, and R as well. All right, so if you are someone who is looking forward to something like this to actually complement your IT skills, this will be delivered as well. Then the course that I have studied, which is the Web Design and Marketing for Entrepreneurs. What is this course about? So I actually see a question. Can I work part-time, long hours? So if you are someone who's running, so you've got a job, and as long as you're able to attend the classes, so let's assume you do a 9 to 5, which is majority of our applicants. If you're doing a 9 to 5, then most likely an evening group is what's more suitable. So we'll just, when you have the chance to sit down with one of us in the recruitment team, we can discuss and actually see how we can best fit your access to the course, and that will be your ability to do the program. So yes, generally speaking, you can work and actually study the course. It's all about whether or not you have the time to participate. Hopefully that has answered your question. And the web design course then is split into 3 modules essentially, okay? And it's going to be your ability to put together a website. So you're going to learn the fundamentals of web design by learning a little bit of color theory, web topography. You'll also tackle a little bit the box model theory as well. And it's your ability to put together elements on a website, and there's some sort of unwritten rules that you need to follow. So for instance, why is it that when you visit a website such as YouTube, why is the logo on the top left? There's a reason behind that. Or why some websites normally have the logo right up on the center. So there are written rules about that, and those are rules that shouldn't be broken, and we'll go through the theory behind the reason why. But then right after that, we'll actually put together websites. We'll actually start designing a website, and the way it will be done is in 2 methods. Number 1, we will go through basic and fundamentals of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So if you are someone who, I like to think of it as an empty canvas, right? If you're a bit more of an artist, creative mind, you like to have complete control as to how your website looks like, you might favor the coding aspect. But you might be someone who doesn't think that is conducive to the type of work you want to do. It might be too time consuming. So we also teach you how to put together a website using a CMS, such as WordPress, Webflow, or Wix, if you've heard of those. And the essential part about that is your ability to pick a template, select where the boxes kind of go in, and how you format that website is all pretty much done in a quick click and drop, drag and drop fashion. And that will be the first part of the course. Right after that, we'll cover the digital marketing. Digital marketing from here will be your ability to generate a marketing campaign, and you should also know what kind of business you're doing this for. So is it that you're running a service? Are you going to be delivering selling a product, selling a service? what's your niche, and how should you plan your marketing campaign accordingly. So we'll show you what could be the best social media platform that you could use if you're wanting to sell a product. So if you want to sell hair product, is it beneficial to use Facebook just because it's the biggest social media platform? Or do you want to use some of their subsidiary companies like IG or WhatsApp, for example? And we'll teach you the toolkits that you can use. We'll then also be able to match and connect your digital marketing tools with your website, and that should be your two-in-one skill set. So at this point in the course, you'll know how to put together a website, and you'll also know how to conduct a marketing campaign. And then finally, we'll do an entrepreneurship module, which will be your ability to start or thinking of a self-employment career path. At this stage in the course, we normally invite a special guest. This could be any person who we've been in contact with, who's had years of experience working as a self-employed individual. They will come into the class, introduce themselves, and actually share a bit of their history. They'll give you their tips, and at which point we'll also cover business finances, business startup, business planning, and then a bit of legalities as well, because there are some misconceptions, and oftentimes you overthink your ability to start a self-employed business, and we'll give you some of the tips. And normally the special guest will also give you some advice as to what you can do to set yourself up as a self-employed individual. And so you might be asking at this stage as well, who exactly can enroll? And so this is where I was talking about us being government funded and government backed. So for each of the, at the moment, we offer courses in the following regions: West Midlands, Liverpool, Manchester, West Yorkshire, and London regions. Okay. Now, when I started Netcom, I actually started working with Netcom in February last year. When I joined, we were just offering courses in West Midlands, and within that time up until today, as you can see, we've grown to offer our courses in all these regions. So hopefully that can speak to the value and the credibility and the level of satisfaction that we've had across this year that I've been with them, but also across the decades that Netcom has been running. So what has happened now is that they have got a subset criteria that you need to meet, which are as follows. As long as you're over the age of 19, and currently, as we speak, you live within either one of these regions, and you have been a resident in the UK for a minimum of 3 years, you are eligible for our courses. Further information and any queries, if you've got doubts, such as, for example, I saw a question earlier about if I'm working, can I actually study? Yes, you can. And if you're ever in doubt, do not hesitate to visit our website. You can get along on our live chat and speak to some of our staff members as well, who will be more than happy to provide you support. And we can give you more information as to how you can actually meet the criteria, or how you are eligible for the course. Okay, so it is fully funded. That means you do not pay for the course, and this is your opportunity to actually get aboard. So if this is you, and you meet any of these criteria, do not waste any more time. As you can see, cybersecurity, for example, is one that is on high demand. So if you are interested, do express your interest in filling an inquiry form today. And I know that has been quite a bit of information that we just shared. So again, I want to hear from you guys. So from what you've heard and from the courses that we just discussed, is there any that has piqued your interest? What excites you more? Any questions regarding any of the courses? And don't forget, we will have a Q&A towards the end. So if you do want to save some of your questions for the end, you can do so. We will have a time allocated for that. Okay, so I've got a question from Kiruka. You've asked, if I'm not up to 3 years in the UK and I make a payment. Yes, we do have avenues that accommodate applicants in your situation. Yes, there will be, and there are some packages that we can always discuss about. So it's a matter of you just filling in an inquiry form when you can. Let us know of your circumstances, and then we'll have our advisors that can best give you some ideas as to how you can approach and access the program. So that is definitely doable. Okay, and I've got another question while these are popping in so fast. So could you talk a bit more about the CompTIA process? Yeah, so what exactly do you mean by that? So in terms, if I was to just go over the CompTIA process once again, the course itself is 3 months, and you'll cover the core 4 modules that we discussed: the network and architecture, mobile and desktop operating systems. You'll also cover a little bit of cloud computing and business processes. So this would be your 3 months that you'll study with us. Then part two begins, which is us giving you access to CompTIA's platform. And that's on this platform that you'll have the opportunity to complete their exam. And the examination, depending on which exam you complete, so if you do the A plus and you pass it, you will get the A plus accreditation. And if you go on to complete further exams from CompTIA, you want to bear in mind that they are stackable. So if you were to collect a certain number of accreditations from them, that would certify you as a specific professional or specialist. So hopefully I was able to cover a little bit of your question there. Oh, we actually, hi, Balduino Davison. When does the data okay, so when does the data course start? We actually have a couple of dates available. I would need to know what region you live in because we offer different dates for different regions. So if you say, for example, if you actually live in the West Midlands, we actually have a start date on the 27th as an example, but we do offer the courses in other regions as well, and we have different dates that we are currently having to enroll students into. So if you do have a chance, as I said, do fill in an inquiry form. And also, just so you know, towards the end of this session, we will be sharing a link where you can have a chance to schedule a call with one of us. So you'll have access to some of our calendars, and whatever date is available, you can schedule a call so we can have a much more in-depth conversation about the courses, and we can have a discussion about your access, and then, of course, what the modules will be, what you'll be studying, and what the benefits from the courses are. Which, by the way, all our courses are a level 3 program. So if you were wondering if they are accredited and there are qualifications towards the end, yes, there are. You will be getting a level 3 qualification towards the end of the course. Okay, so do make sure that you are taking the opportunity to actually have a look in the courses. And if you do have a time for a call, don't hesitate, just do schedule that in. Have you got funding for London courses? At the moment, we're actually going to have some of that being covered in the chat shortly because I'm going to have to go and continue with the next slide. But we will address all these questions, so not to worry. So why should you be excited for a career in IT? At the moment, IT has been a sector that has been growing quite fast. And in case you were ever wondering in regards to the feedback that I was telling you about before, here's a couple of ones that we've had. And Gary actually happens to be the tutor that taught me the web design course, and he's an amazing tutor. So if you do end up studying the web design course with us and you have Gary as a tutor, you're in good hands, and I can at least confirm that much. So in terms of IT and why you should be excited about working and pursuing a career in this sector, it's estimated to grow 11%, and this is the statistics from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, okay? And this was a metric that was done and a survey that was carried out from the year 2019, and it's actually projected to grow 11% all the way till the year 2029. So what does that mean? That means that anybody who's honing their skills today in the IT sector can actually rely on those skills, and you can pretty much guarantee your longevity in terms of career for your future. So if at any point in time you are studying data analytics, if you're taking time understanding more about networking and how computers operate with one another in a network, if you're learning about cybersecurity or even web design, you are most likely going to be involved in this statistic in terms of what kind of jobs will be available to you towards the end. And as we say, it is high on demand, as you may have seen. I mean, by virtue of you guys being here should be an example. At the moment, we've got over 100 participants that have shared their interest, with a lot more joining in as we speak. So this should speak to the level of interest and demand that we have. So what we're looking at now is being able to satisfy that demand. And anyone who's currently lacking the industry experience or actually the knowledge to be able to start a career, this is where we as the training provider come in to satisfy that need. So for those of you who are a little bit more money driven, here's a couple of statistics for you. So the median salary, so the average salary for anyone working in IT has been estimated to be somewhere around 52K as a per annum gross base salary, which is a higher figure than if you were to take all the other sectors in the UK, which come around to 33K per year. So this is something that you could look to, and in terms of aspirations and target financial freedom and security that you might be looking forward to, I hope this does also help you clear that doubt and satisfy that need as well. So You do have diverse job opportunities. As you know, it's a vast sector. We are talking about a sector where if you have an expertise with fixing laptops, if you have expertise being an engineer where you're more hands-on and taking care of supporting any form of individual's software upgrade. Uh, if you want to be a software developer, if you want to be even a games developer, and you know a little bit of coding for that, if you want to be a cyber analyst, if you want to be a network engineer, it's the job opportunities are endless, and it's a matter of where do you fall, where do you think you can put your time and honing your skills, and what interests you the most. So just take the opportunity to really take some time and think about that for a second, because if you are looking for a job and you want some form of job security, look no further than the IT sector. And in terms of advancement, we do have professionals that are also who have actually been quite happy with the service that we've provided, which we're going to share in the future slides as well. So in regards to our progression, because we do get asked quite a bit, can we get a job at the end of the course? And just to again reiterate, yes, you can. And we do have a team that's focused to give you that support. So what that looks like is as follows. During the first couple of weeks of you joining the course, one of our career officers will join the program. They will introduce themselves to you and they will share their details so you can actually start liaising, communicating, and scheduling a one-to-one session. Okay. What will happen there is we will discuss how you can optimize your CV, what your pre-existing skills, the skills that you'll then obtain in the course that you're studying with us, and then we'll have a very honest conversation about what kind of jobs you can get. So what the salary looks like, what kind of responsibilities you'll be able to be involved in, and even if you're the type of student who wants to progress into further studies and further education, that is a path that is available, and we provide you support for a total of 6 months. So that doesn't mean you do the course and you finish the course with us and that's it, we don't hear from you. We actually do follow up with a lot of our students. And hopefully, as I said, if you take the chance to have a look in our Trustpilot page, you will see most of the feedback that we've received from our previous students. And finally, if you are successful, because when we collate a list of employers for you to look at. So let's say, for example, as a fixed scenario, you jump in one of the calls of our career officers, and you were to say, okay, I want to study in I'm studying cybersecurity course, and I would like to get a job ideally as a data analyst or a cyber engineer. Okay, that's not a problem. And if you then said, due to COVID, I've had these circumstances, so if I could work in a hybrid role or preferably work from home, this is mostly what I'm interested in. So our team will put together a list of vacancies that match that interest, and then we'll present that list to you. And we may get in contact with some of our industry partners for that as well. And then all you have to do is look at the available vacancies at that time, because things might change between the time of your search and a couple of weeks after that. And then you apply for the ones that you are mostly interested in. If you then are successful at securing an interview, our team will then schedule, if you are interested in, a training session. So we can go through enough interview training sessions as you require before you attend your real interview, just to equip you with enough knowledge as to how to succeed with that. Excuse me. And if you wanted to know which companies have successfully hired or which one of our students has successfully gone on to work and what industry and companies have been, if you've got a couple of names that might be of your interest, with a lot more that we just couldn't fit in the page. And very cheekily, you've got Netcom in the corner because, yes, I myself have successfully gone on to work with Netcom after finishing the course with them. So do look out for that, because we do often also have vacancies available, and we may include you in the job board. We'll look some of that in just a second. Right. For if you're here and you've got a business, and in case you were wondering, we do have a very good relationship with some of our business peers, and this is some of the feedback that we've received from them. So students that have gone on to work for their companies and the agencies that you've just seen have had a tremendous feedback that we've heard from them. So a couple of months working with them, they've shown tremendous growth, and they've gone on to essentially start their career. So don't waste any more time, really. And so you might be wondering, okay, so where do we go from here? It sounds really good. Anderson, you've taken 50 minutes of our time. We've gone through the course. We know who you are. You can solve a cube. This is all the course. So what happens now? Look, it's very simple, guys. Get yourself on our website if you can, okay, which you should be able to access in this course. That means you've got access to the internet, you've got a computer or a phone. So go onto our website, okay, take some time going through some of the courses and read through what we've got available. But at any point, as you know, websites are quite limited in how much we can put there. It's a lot of information that we normally would like to put in there, but it would just make the website too slow to load. So if at any point you wanted more information, or if you're sold on the idea of the courses that we offer, then don't hesitate. Just fill in an inquiry form, and one of our consultants, myself included, will get in touch with you and have a discussion about where we can go from the initial inquiry onto the support that you would need to start your career. Okay. And we've now reached the end of the open day. But before we put a close on this chapter, this is your chance to ask a couple of questions. Again, just to remind you guys, we will be sharing a link very soon, so don't all leave at once, where you can actually schedule a time for us to have a call and have a discussion about the courses that you may want to study with us. So do you have any questions about what's been covered today? Any sort of queries? Do you just want to say how excited you are about cybersecurity? By all means, feel free to do that. Okay, it's definitely gone a little bit quiet. So we're looking over here at some of the questions we've got here. There are 2 cyber courses. How do I know which is best suited for me? Oh, okay. So as I said, you may have the chance to speak to one of our recruitment officers. So just call in. We can have a discussion about your circumstances, what you want to do, where you want to go. But to give you an idea, if you're doing a cybersecurity course and the one that you're looking at says 8 weeks, for example, you might be someone who's you don't have that much time to put into. So maybe a 2-month course might be more attractive, so that's more suitable for you. Or alternatively, you'll have a 3-month program that could be more suitable for you, and you don't mind going the long haul. But as I said, all our courses are level 3 programs, so you wouldn't be missing out. It's just what suits you best. As long as they are cybersecurity and they cover the modules that you came to study with us, then you're pretty much in good hands. So we've got another one. So you said, okay, eligibility criteria, there are limited spaces. Yes, there are. So to give you an example, for some of our courses, we have a profile of 45 learners, and this is what we have as a stipulation from the combined authorities, for example. So we'll have a maximum of 35 learners in one course. It could be a cybersecurity for a Manchester region, or it could be a web design for the West Yorkshire region, for example. So spaces are indeed limited. So when we say do call us as soon as you can or express your interest ASAP, we really do mean it, because spaces go very, very, very quickly. Okay, can you only take part into? Okay, so this is a good question. So James, you've asked, can you only take part into security and cybersecurity? Because okay, so I'm assuming you're asking if you can take part in 2 courses. So what happens is, what the funding for you looks like is that when you join on our course, we take some time to discuss your interest, what your goals are, and we advise what the best course is for that career path. Because in terms of you joining our courses as a funded learner, you can only be funded one time. But there have been programs that we've had in the past where learners did a level 2, for example, and upscaled to a level 3 with us. So depending on your circumstances, you might be able to do another course with us, depending on what you've done prior. But generally speaking, if you've done a cybersecurity with us, you wouldn't be able to do, for example, the web design right after. So this is why we say take some time to really understand where you want to go from here in terms of your IT career path. And if you need some advice, this is what we're here for. So do make use of the link that's in the chat to book an appointment with us if you've got some time, because definitely I can already see some of the dates in my calendar. On my days, I'm getting some I'm getting some date notifications here. So let me just close that down. You guys are fast. But yeah, definitely I can see that you're actually doing that. So yeah, take the opportunity while you can, book some dates, because they are going pretty quick. So I've got another question coming through here. When does the cybersecurity course start? Zainab, you've asked this question. I've seen that. Actually, some of the dates will vary depending on the region that you're applying from. So it's as I said, it's a matter of you just calling us and letting us know where you're calling from, and we'll give you more information regarding that. Christian, I'm so sorry. I just noticed your comment. You said you just logged in now. I hope you haven't missed much. Again, as a reminder, the session is recorded. So for those of you who want to go over what we've discussed, there will be a link very soon on our YouTube, or a video will be uploaded to our YouTube page. And if you wanted to know what that is, it's on our website as well. But if you just search Netcom Training on YouTube, you will find our channel, and it will be saved up there. Let's see what else has come through. Yes, you can. KB, I just read your question. Can you start the course as a beginner? Yes. Our courses are taught from entry level. You do not require prior knowledge in what cybersecurity is or what web design truly is about. All you need is ideally a passion for actually wanting to learn it, and as long as you're comfortable using your computer. So if we were to issue a task where we say, okay, can you install this software because this is what we'll need for the next session, as long as you're comfortable carrying out those simple tasks, then you're more than suitable for the course. Okay, and Christian, you did ask how long is the training and the training session flexible for those who have? Yes, once again, courses are delivered in 3 groups: morning, afternoon, and evening. Morning would be 9:30 to 12:30. Afternoon would be 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. and evening would be 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So if you've got work commitments or family that you need to take care of, if you've got school runs, we can always discuss about what could possibly be the best course of action in terms of schedule that you need to be attending for you. And as well, in terms of how many times a week, it's 4 days of the week. So you've got Monday to Thursday at the respective groups that I've just discussed. Lady Shola, will courses be available in June? Yes, they will, and we will soon have some dates and times confirmation. Because as we move across the year, we always get new allocation from the Combined Authority, so we may have more funding for the month of June and July and so forth. It's quite early to see what the confirmation is, so we will be looking into that soon. But yes, we will be offering courses all throughout the year. Correct, correct. Yep. So this question's been answered. Moyo, you've asked, do we have any BA course? I'm assuming you're asking a bachelor's degree. No, our courses are a level 3. So what we normally advise is that if you haven't gotten the prior experience, and normally you want to get onto further education, but you haven't been successful at doing so, our programs can equip you to either start a career or then move on to study that higher education degree or diploma. So it's a matter of picking the course that's best suited for you. Business analyst, I see what you're talking about. Business analyst specifically, no, but we have had meetings with new modules and new course programs that will be running soon. So stay tuned for what we may be offering in the months to come. Have a look. Abimala, I may have missed your question. Let me just scroll back up to see where we are. All right. So Abimala, it depends what region you're from and what course you're asking for. So it will depend because the dates do vary. We have a few courses starting, for instance, for Liverpool in the month of April, and we've got some for West Yorkshire and West Midlands as well. And they will vary in dates and times. So we just need to find out where you're calling from and where you're tuning in from to give you more information. So I think we're coming to the complete hour that we've had for this session. I'm so sorry if I couldn't answer all of the questions this evening for you guys, but rest assured, as I said, we do have staff members who are willing to answer most of your questions. So there's been a link that was shared, and we may share it once more again at the very end before we close. This will be your opportunity to schedule a call session with one of our recruitment officers, myself included as well. And you can actually start scheduling from tomorrow, because as I said, I've been receiving notifications for that. And if you guys have any further questions, any more queries, some of you may have very unique circumstances and you wonder how you can actually join the program considering your circumstances, do call us, because we have all the advice that we can give you. Just give us the opportunity, take some time aside, and we can have at least 15 minutes to half an hour to discuss what you would like to do in terms of your career path, what your circumstances are, and how we can support you in participating and pretty much making a change for your future. Okay, so that has been myself. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in, and we will see you in the other side. Take care, guys.